Hello everyone. Hi there and good evening to all my dear children. Today I'm going to read a story for you all. And the name of the story is The Enormous Turnip. Okay, so will you read with me? Do you really like reading? Yes. So let's begin the story. It is called as The Enormous Turnip Level 1. So slowly I'm going to read for you all. Please understand the whole story, and also remember that you need to ponder upon the words. So can you see the old woman, the old man, the girl, the boy, the dog, the enormous turnip? Now what do you mean by this word enormous? Enormous means very big. So enormous is so giant, the biggest is called as the enormous. So once upon a time there was this old man, and he had a farm, and in his farm the old man planted some turnip seeds. Okay, turnip in Hindi is called as shalgam. So the old man planted some turnip seeds. The turnip seeds grew and grew. One turnip grew enormous. Means he planted many seeds, but one seed grew very big. Okay, and that's why it is called as the enormous turnip. Now what happened next? I want that enormous turnip for my tea, said the old man. He pulled and he pulled, but he couldn't pull it up. So he pulled and pulled, but he couldn't pull it up. It was so big, it was so giant. The old man called to the woman. Help me pull up this enormous turnip, he said. So he's calling his wife. Please come and help me to pull up this enormous turnip. He's telling his wife. They pulled. Now both of them together, they pulled and they pulled, but they couldn't pull it up. They pulled and they pulled, but they couldn't pull it up. See, can you see? They are pulling, but they are not able to pull it out because it is so big. It is the giant, enormous turnip. The old woman called to the boy. Help us pull up this enormous turnip, she said. So she's calling a boy. Can you help us to pull out this turnip? Now the boy also joined them. They pulled and they pulled, but they couldn't pull it up. So they pulled and they pulled, but they couldn't pull it up. Can you see three of them pulling the turnip? But still they cannot pull it out. The boy called to the girl. Now the boy is calling the girl. Help us to pull this enormous turnip, he said. So he's saying, can you help us to pull this enormous turnip? Okay. Now the girl joined them. They pulled and they pulled, but they couldn't pull it up. They pulled and pulled, but they couldn't pull it up. See, the girl has joined them. Now it's so difficult to pull this big giant turnip. The girl called to the dog. Now she's calling the dog. Help us pull up this enormous turnip, she said. So she's saying, help us pull it up, the enormous turnip. See, she's calling the dog. Now the dog will also join them. They pulled and they pulled and they pulled. Up popped the enormous turnip. Oops, the turnip has come out. Wow, how? So they pulled so much that the turnip came out. Now what's going to happen? And they all had turnip for tea. So grandma made a beautiful turnip soup for tea. They all had turnip for tea.